Peace be upon you, friends. We're picking up from where we left off. We talk about the Menteşe Principality, so let's get started without further ado, directly. In this way, we see the Hinge Principality continuing its existence towards the end of the century. In other words, it is not yet known whether the Turks from the far west spread or settled in ancient Caria from the south via the Mediterranean. Some records clearly prefer the latter option. It is known that Caria was called Menteşe in the second half of this century. Is happening. It seems that the principality known as Menteşe invaded Caria, which is now the province of Muğla, after 1261. In 1282, Byzantine historians mention Salpakas Menteşe. In other words, the forces under the command of the Turkish Bey, whom they call Sahil Bey, Menteşe, are at Tralles on the banks of the Menderes. So it is known that they captured the castles of Niyasa, Sultanisarı next to Aydın. Since the Byzantine Empire's attempts to reclaim Caria did not yield any results, the Turks settled here and established their principality. Yes, the term Müdüt Güvel belongs to the Menteşe Principality. The towns of Besin, Bilas, Muğla, Palatya, Balat, Bozoyuk, Çine, Davaz, Bornaz, Meyri, and Köyceğiz are mentioned. To these, it is necessary to add the Phoenician coastal city called Fok, which belonged to the Menteşe Principality and later came under the supreme rule of the Hamit Principality. Thus, the Menteşe Principality, which owned the Mediterranean and Aegean seas, formed a navy on these shores and engaged in piracy. Menteşe, who founded this principality in its early days, was called Sahil Bey, indicating their relationship with the sea. This reinforces the idea that the Menteşe Turks entered from the sea and perhaps from the Phoenician and Meri regions, as we pointed out earlier. According to the inscription in the mosque in Milas dated 1378 AD by Ahmet Gazi, one of Menteşe's grandsons, the name of Menteşe Bey's father was Eblistan, and his father's name is Kur'i Bey. The date of Menteşe Bey's death is not known, but his death, it is understood from the investigation that it occurred after 1282. His place was taken by his son Bey Mesut. During this time, in 1296, the Byzantine attempts to invade Caria ultimately failed. In 1300, Bey Mesut attacked the island of Rhodes with the Menteşe navy and captured it. 10 years later, Pope Pide, with the help of Clement and the beautiful King of France, Philip, the Knights of Saint-Jean, attacked Rhodes, and on August 15th, 1210, they captured the center of the island, and within 4 years they had taken the entire island. Between the years 1312 and 1319, he was in discussions with the Turkish Beys of Anatolia. Ulu Arif Çelebi, the grandson of Nevlan, who wanted to spread the Mevlevi order, came to this region and met with Mesut and his son, Orhan Bey. After the death of Bey Mesut, who passed away before 1319, his son, Şüçahuddin Orhan Bey, took over, and this, since he worked on the oyster beds of Rhodes in 1320, Mesut must have died before this date. In 1333, the traveler Ibn Battuta visited the principality's center in Besin and met with Orhan Bey. The date of Orhan Bey's death is not known. However, according to the inscription of the Muğla Mosque dated 1344, the death of Ibrahim Bey, who took over